obviously I done had deja vu, deja vu before. Everybody done had deja vu. I ain't gonna lie. Last night I think I had deja vu. Come on, man. Tell me why though. Go ahead.
Hey, 42 here. The film Groundhog Day, released back in 1998, is set in the town of Woodstock. No, not that one. And tells the story of Bill Murray's character, Phil Connors, who repeatedly relives February the 2nd.
Yo, I hate this dude, bro.
Hey, 42 here.
Why he do
the
that?
Film Groundhog Day, released back in 1998, is set in the town of Woodstock. No, not that one. And tells the story of Bill Murray's character, Phil Connors, who repeatedly relives February the 2nd.
Is he about to do it again?
Wait, did I do that bit already?
Chances
are that, like me and good old Bill Murray,
that's my birthday.
You've had that strange feeling where you feel like you've already experienced a situation before,
Facts.
even though you know you haven't. That sensation, of course, is deja.
I'm not gonna lie, when I get deja vu, it's like, you know, how like niggas on YouTube will have the little doom effect, and then it'll like the screen will like, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll be like doom, and it'll be like waves. That's how it feels, but it's like internal, you know, like doom. Yeah, y'all get it, bro.
Deja vu.
That's how I be feeling when I get deja vu.
And 80% of us will experience it at some point in our lives. But what exactly is deja vu?
I want to know somebody that never experienced it, bro.
Well, according to Professor of Psychological Science, James Lampinen, deja vu is a strong sense of global familiarity that occurs in a seemingly novel situation. It's that little nagging voice in your head saying, I've been here before, when you know that's not quite the case, unless you're eating cheese straight out of the fridge at 2 a.m. We both know it's not your first time. The phenomenon was first named by a French parapsychologist, Émile Bourac, in 1876. The name itself is fairly self-explanatory. Deja vu means already seen in French.
Okay.
But why was it a parapsychologist, someone who studies psychic phenomena, who was so interested in it? Well, at the time, deja vu was considered so strange, it was thought to be something supernatural, much like clairvoyance or mediumship. For many years, it was considered an area unworthy of study, most often explained away as a side effect of reincarnation, or possibly even alien abduction. Never been in this room before that somehow feels so familiar? Well then, you must have been here in a past life, obviously. Either that or aliens vigorously probed you on this very spot before wiping your brain. The name deja vu itself has become a catch-all term for unexpected familiarity. But there are actually several different varieties of the phenomenon to remember. Déjà entendu is the sense you've already heard something that is in fact new to you. Not to be confused with Déjà Nintendo, which is when you suddenly remember you've been playing Pokemon for 6 days straight and need to get a life. There's also déjà pensé, the feeling you've had a particular thought before, when in reality you haven't. Déjà goûté relates to food. And déjà voulu, weirdly enough, is the sense you've desired something, or someone, before when you haven't.
Yo, I be having this, bruh. It'll be somebody I don't know at all. But I'll be like, yo, I remember this person, and I know them from somewhere. So then I'll ask them, I'll be like, yo, I know you from somewhere. They'll be like, no, I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before. Like, bro, it's crazy, bro. Why he just flame Pokemon nerds? Bro, he probably a Pokemon nerd himself, bro. Like, it's crazy. I don't even, nah, I'm not even gonna, I ain't even gonna get on the Pokemon nerd's head, bro. I ain't gonna do it.
It's important to note that deja vu is completely different to precognition, which is where people have the feeling they know what's about to happen. That's not deja vu as much as it is claiming to be a psychic and mental. To be on the safe side, psychologists have actually tested this out. Back in the 1950s, when scientists had free rein to attach whatever they felt like to people's brains, direct stimulation of the frontal cortex, which induced deja vu, was found to also produce the feeling of premonition, but without granting any actual power to predict things or see the future in any way. And more recent, less brain-proby experiments have found exactly the same thing.
Wait, so you could trigger deja vu?
We separate deja vu into two distinct types. The first, what we'd consider regular deja vu, is seemingly random, and the second is associated with neurological conditions like
I know you can
temporal
trigger
lobe
it, bro.
epilepsy. This latter form is usually accompanied by other symptoms and is termed pathological deja vu. It's caused by disease or injury of some kind, particularly damage to or malfunction of the frontal lobe, the part of the brain that handles memory. Pathological deja vu is easier to study since it occurs far more frequently in the individuals it affects, and researchers have been able to identify the areas of the brain where the feeling originates. But pathological deja vu is generally considered to be a little different from your normal everyday deja vu. For instance, those suffering from this condition may actually think they've been in a given situation before for sustained periods of time, rather than merely experiencing a fleeting feeling. A British man, Pat Long, suffered from one of the worst cases of deja vu on record. In his mid-30s, Pat was diagnosed with a brain tumour the size of a lemon, after suffering epileptic seizures. To most of us, deja vu is nothing more than a strange moment, a kind of, that's weird, that lasts no more than a second or two. Pat's deja vu was something else entirely. In fact, it wasn't really deja vu at all, but déjà vécu, meaning already lived. We're building up quite the nicety list of French vocab here, aren't we? Anyway, as the name suggests, Pat's déjà vécu meant he would believe he'd lived whole sequences of events before. The feeling was so strong and would last so long that for weeks on end, he would be almost entirely unable to differentiate between past experiences and the present, with memories, hallucinations,
why is it all clips of them
the
drinking?
products of his own imagination all interchangeable to him. Epilepsy sufferers often experience bouts of deja vu during seizures, as well as the experience described as the opposite of deja vu, jamais vu, meaning never seen. Jamais vu is when a situation that should be familiar instead feels foreign for some reason, as if you're experiencing it for the first time. Whilst not quite so famous as its cousin deja vu, jamais vu is easier to induce. Repeat any word aloud enough times in a short space of time, and it will slowly start to lose its meaning, 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 inducing
Meaning, 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 meaning. I ain't gonna lie, there was a little bit where like it lost a little, you know what I'm saying? It lost a little bit of meaning, but it came back like I was like, okay, and meaning is meaning, which means that it's meaning. You know what I'm saying?
Deja vu is far more difficult, which means studying the sensation can be tricky. That's part of the reason we still don't know exactly how studying the sensation can be tricky. That's part of the reason we still don't know exactly how it works or what causes it. For most of us, it's not a daily occurrence, so getting data on a significant scale in a lab setting is difficult. Difficult, but not impossible.
I thought he was about to say
As part of a
difficult over and over.
2006 study, scientists at Leeds Memory Group used hypnosis in an attempt to induce deja vu. They theorized the sensation was caused by a kind of malfunction in memory processing. When the human brain is presented with a new scene, it carries out an internal check to see whether elements of the scene have been observed before. If they
wait, hold on. When y'all walk outside, right? Like let's say this is you right here walking, right? Let's say this is you. Y'all walking through here, what are y'all thinking? Like what do y'all be thinking when y'all be walking through like areas like this, like where it's like a lot of people, or it's like people that you just don't know, like random strangers walking by? You're just walking. Cause for me, if I'm not like if I'm like actually paying attention to like everybody that's around me and I'm not just listening to music or something, just walking by, I'll be like, yo, this is exactly what I'll do. I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what I'll do.
A new scene.
I'll be like,
it carries out an internal check
whatever.
to see
This nigga
whether
NPC.
elements of the scene
These
have
niggas some
been
NPCs.
observed before.
NPCs.
If they have,
fucking bot. Like that's the way I walk through, bro. I just be aware of my surrounding. I'm looking at everyone in my surroundings. It's weird. Nah, but bro, I be saying like everybody just a bot. That's all I be saying. Like when I'm actually just looking at people, I be like, yo, what are y'all doing, bro? Like that's what I be saying. Like, why are you just sitting here looking like you a bot? Why was this dude just standing there? Look. Why was he just standing there? He's a bot with the flip flops on. You know what I'm saying? I be lost in my headphones. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. When I don't listen to music, because I do be lost in my headphones too. When I don't listen to music and I'm actually looking around. That's how I look, bro. I'll be like, yo, this nigga's a bot. Why the fuck he got his toes out like this? You know what I'm saying? With the sandals out. He got bootcut jeans with a rubber band on. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm gonna walk by and that's what I'm gonna be thinking.
Check to see whether
elements
of the scene have been observed before. If they have, a different part of the brain identifies the scene as familiar.
I ain't gonna lie, when I be outside, bro,
the researchers.
I ain't gonna lie, when I be outside, I be mean mugging, bro. Come on. When I be outside just walking, I be mean mugging. Bro, I remember when I walked to the bank. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro, I walked in the bank like I was finna rob it. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, I walked in that hole with the hoodie on. I said, yo, I ain't gonna lie, I was mean mugging, bro. I was mean mugging for no reason, bro. Like, I ain't gonna cap.
It's hypothesized that deja vu occurs
I be like,
when
get
the
your
second
kill. Why is the
part
nigga
of
just
this
standing there?
process is triggered without
You
the
too
first.
dark to be doing that? I know,
And they
bro.
were able
I
to
know, and I still
successfully
do it.
use hypnosis to artificially trigger the malfunction simply by telling hypnotized patients that the next time they saw a particular word, they would know it was familiar, but not know where they'd last seen it. Does that explain the mystery then? Well, not necessarily, because other researchers attempting to recreate deja vu have come to their own, sometimes very different conclusions. According to a 2014 study conducted at the University of St Andrews in Scotland, deja vu may actually be a healthy and important neurological failsafe that performs a conflict resolution function to prevent false memories from forming. As part of the experiment, researchers used word association techniques to convince participants they'd been shown certain words they hadn't, effectively forming false memories. When later quizzed on these memories, around 2/3 of participants reported experiencing deja vu. Interestingly, MRI scans of their brains
nigga said football workout at 6 a.m. in the morning. I remember them days.
Which is responsible for memory, but in the frontal cortex, which is responsible for decision making.
Okay.
The researchers theorized that deja vu was experienced as the brain attempted to resolve the conflict between what the participants had actually seen and what they thought they'd seen. As interesting as these ingenious lab-based explorations of deja vu are, it's also possible there's a much simpler explanation to all of this, that deja vu is simply triggered by a forgotten memory. After all, it's well established that less important and infrequently accessed memories are eventually forgotten, or at least heavily suppressed. Deja vu may just be the feeling we get when something we're experiencing is similar to one of these discarded memories that's gone but not quite forgotten. Frequent travelers are also thought to experience deja vu more regularly than others, which perhaps supports this theory. The more places you've been, and the more different things you've seen and done, the more likely it is that a seemingly new experience might feel familiar to you, because it's similar to something you no longer quite remember, consciously at least.
Okay.
We can't talk about deja vu without giving a quick shout out to Sigmund Freud, who believed the phenomenon was caused by repressed desires or old traumatic memories. Because, well, that guy linked everything to repressed desires and trauma. He also had a suspicion that regular sufferers of deja vu were most likely fixated with their mother's genitals. Secret Garden is the only place in the world every single one of us has been just once before, I would hope. Whether or not people born by cesarean section experience deja vu is, so far as I'm aware, unknown. There's a thesis subject for you budding psychologists out there. Make sure you give me a mention in the acknowledgements. Another older explanation, albeit one that remains a valid theory today, is known as dual processing.
This shit got me tight, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Why did I tell that story, bro? Because now I'm tight. I'm getting mad again.
Any delay in processing from one side may cause that eerie feeling of deja vu. This was tested by Robert Efron in 1963, and he found that the temporal lobe of the brain's left hemisphere is where incoming information is sorted. But he also found that the temporal lobe receives this information both directly and after a short detour through the right hemisphere of the brain. If, for any reason, the information traveling through the right hemisphere is delayed at all, it could be assigned the wrong timestamp, giving a feeling of familiarity we assume is from long ago, but in reality was from mere moments before. The idea that deja vu may actually be a sense of familiarity from extremely recent events rather than past ones underpins another possible cause of the phenomenon: divided attention. The idea here is that when your attention is split as you experience a new situation, for example, if you're talking to a friend as you enter a pub for the first time, it may be that you take in your surroundings subliminally without really paying attention to them. In essence, you're subconsciously observing the situation faster than you consciously process it. This gap between the completion times of these two processes isn't noticeable enough that you suddenly pause like a robot without a command, but it is enough to think you'd experienced the event before, since, as in the dual processing theory, you kind of already have, fractions of a second ago. To test this, Marsh and Brown showed groups of students photographs of various locations and asked them if they were familiar. Unbeknownst to the students, some of the images had been flashed onto the screen just before for a very short time, only 10 to 20 milliseconds, which was long enough for the students' brains to pick up on the images, but not long enough to consciously notice them. As expected, the locations that had flashed up, like those creepy transition shots in The Ring, had wormed their way into the students' subconscious and were recognized as familiar, even though the students had never been to any of them. Whichever theory you like the sound of, the truth is, they're all still just that.
Theories.
Despite science's best efforts, we still don't know for sure what causes deja vu. One of the latest studies, published in 2019, found that people who experience deja vu more frequently use different parts of their brain to retrieve memories than people who rarely or never do. In particular, frequent deja vuers, I'm well aware I've completely massacred the French language by this point, showed less activity in their hippocampi, the so-called librarians of the brain that help consolidate memories, suggesting that people who don't get deja vu may simply be those with better memories. Equally, if you consider the fact that deja vu is most prevalent in people aged between 15 and 25 years old,
why are you looking like that,
perhaps it's just a sign that we're not senile yet and can still tell real memories from fake ones. A comforting thought for anyone in that age bracket, and a sobering one for all of us over that threshold. Of course, I couldn't go this whole video without a quick nod to the more out there explanations, like that from the Denzel Washington thriller, appropriately titled Deja Vu, where it's the result of FBI-sponsored time travel, and particularly the one made famous by Keanu Reeves wearing all black. No, I'm not talking about John Wick, or his adverts for Saint Laurent menswear, or even his red carpet appearance at the Toy Story 4 premiere. Seriously, Keanu, don't get typecast or anything. No, I'm talking about his rise to superstardom in the Matrix.
In the Matrix!
Do I need a spoiler alert for a 21-year-old film? Anyway, as you doubtless remember, in the film, Neo sees the same cat cross a doorway twice and nonchalantly comments, "Oh, deja vu," as if seeing the world literally repeat itself before your very eyes is no big deal. His team very much disagree, jumping into action as Trinity explains that deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix that happens when they change something. And hey, if you want to take deja vu as evidence we're all just motionless bodies plugged into the machine, I'm not going to stop you. Thanks for watching. You can now buy my new book, Stick a Flag in It, on Amazon.
Yo, the book sounds lovely, bro. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate the book, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Feel me.